Andy. You're most generous in your introduction, and I also want to apologize before I begin for all these signs all over the place here. My supporters are very eager. You'll note that your windshields have all been plastered with bumper stickers. No, hope not. I hope not. But you're welcome to take some. Every now and then someone says, why in the world did you get into this? Why did you leave private life, the privacy you knew at home, and decide to get into a race against, of all people, Ted Kennedy? A little story will help break the ice on that topic. There's a story of the Texan that wanted to go polar bear hunting in Alaska. And so he went up to Alaska, went to an igloo where he could find some guides, went in and talked to some Eskimos, and they were there preparing their nets and their knives and their ropes and spears for polar bear hunting. And he said, I'd like to go polar bear hunting. They said, fine. They started gathering these things. He said, hey, no, you don't need any of that. Let's just go out and grab these bears and break their necks with our hands. And they said, look, in Texas, you got these little, brown bears about this high. But up here in Alaska, these things are 15 feet high, outstretched. You don't just grab them and break their necks. Well, Texan wanted nothing to do with that. So he left the igloo and, went off on his own. A little while later, the Eskimos heard these indistinct words, open the door. Couldn't quite understand it, so they had to listen more carefully. Heard the words, open the door. And so they opened the door of the igloo, and they saw coming down a high hill in the distance, this Texan running like crazy, right behind him a polar bear. And he was running just fast as he could, and when he got all the way to the igloo, he got right to the door, and just as he got there, he stepped aside. And the polar bear shot inside the igloo. He shut the door and he said, you guys skin that one, I'll go get another one. Now, I've been living here for 23 years, and I've been saying, somebody ought to go after that guy. Somebody ought to do something about this. Somebody ought to fix that. Why is Ted Kennedy doing this? It's taking us in the wrong direction. Look what's happened to education. Why isn't someone doing something? And finally, about a year ago, my wife in bed one morning said, you got to run against Ted Kennedy. And I just about fell out of bed. And she said it again, you've got to do it. We've been